In this video, we're going to be playing 10 shoes of double deck blackjack, and because of that, this is probably going to be one of those videos you want to come back and watch again, as it's a great training video. So if you want, you can maybe go down and save that down below this video, and while you're down there, please hit the like button for me, as that is very helpful. All right, we're going to play with this bet spread. We got $50 minimum table, and so any true count that's 0 or below, we're going to be betting $50. And then 2 spots of that many black chips or $100 chips for every true count above that until we get to a true 5. So this will be an example of a true 1, 202 spots would be a true 2, all the way up to 502 spots would be an example of a true 5, okay? Because we're spreading 2 spots, we do need another player at the table. I'm not gonna be paying them out. This is just kind of like a placeholder here as a minimum of $50, because that's what the table min is. If you need to take a screenshot or something of this bet spread, you can. Otherwise, I'm gonna get our cards shuffled up for us. And as I do that, here's some other rules that we're gonna be playing with on the screen. All right, we get our cards cut here, and then we're cutting off just over a half deck, probably around 30 cards or so. Just to kind of visualize that, that's what it's gonna look like most times. Here is $50 as our table minimum. Got a burn card, I'll throw into the discard tray. I have a camera set up for you so you can judge your deck estimation correctly. Otherwise, here's round 1 of 10. Let's count. Right after each round, I'm gonna write down what my count is, and then we're gonna check that to see if we are right or not. So this plus the burn card should be the opposite of what we have, since we're using high-low card counting, which is balanced. We have 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, and still 0. So since this was 0, we need to get back to 0. We also needed 0. And yeah, that's what I had as well. All right, I'll get this shuffled up for round 2. All right, I got our cut card in there, burn card, minimum bet of $50 we'll get out here. All right, round 2, let's count. Well, that was unfortunate. Had a bunch of big bets out there at the end, and there's going to be a lot of little cards in here as I have a nice high count. All right, this plus the burn card should be opposite of what we have. We have D1, D2, D3, D2. Or I said that backwards. There's going to be a bunch of high cards in here because of, yeah, my count is high. All right, D1, D2, D3, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7, D8, D7, D8, D9, D8, D7, D8, D7, D6, D5, D6, D7, D8, D9, and still D9. This was -9, we needed +9. Yeah, and that's what I had. So a lot of those high cards were after the cut card, which is kind of hard one to swallow, but that's all right. We'll get the shuffled up for round 3. All right, got our minimum bet of $50. Burn card, round 3. Let's count. right, let's count it out. We got D1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so this was +1. We needed -1. And yeah, that's what I had as well. Man, we are losing some of those bigger bets, aren't we? But anyway, I'll go shuffle it up for round 4. All right, got our cut card in there. Minimum bet of $50. Burn card. Ready, get set. Round 4. All right, there's the win we were waiting for. Nice. All right, we split those and then the count dropped. And so that last one I did not split because it was too low at that point. But that was a $2,500 win, I think. Very nice. Okay, anyway, let's count this up, see if our count was right. We have 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, D1, D2, D3, D2, D1, D2, D1, D2, D3, D2, D3, D4, D3. All right, so this was -3. We needed a +3. And yeah, that is what I had. All right, so those last few were justified for sure because of the correct count. All right, get these shuffled up for round 5. All right, round 5, got our minimum bet, burn card. Let's count. All right, let's count it up, see what we got. We have D1, 0, D1, D2, D1, 0, D1, 0, D1, D2, D1, 0, and D1. This was -1, we needed +1. All right, so that was all correct for the first 5. My camera overheats, so I'm gonna be right back with you, and then we'll do the next 5. All right, we're back, so let me get these shuffled up for round number 6. All right, got the cut card in there. Minimum bet of $50. Burn card. Ready? Get set. Round 6. All right, let's count up, see what we got. We have D1, D2, D3, D2, D1, D2, D3, D2, D3, D2, D1, D2, D1, 0, 1, 0, D1, D2, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D4, and D5 or minus 5, so we needed plus 5. All right, get it shuffled up for round 7. Put those back, get our minimum of 50 out, burn card. Here comes round 7. Let's count. All right, let's count it up. We got D1, 0, D1, D2, D3, D2, D1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Look at all those neutral cards. 3, 2, 3, 2, still 2, and 3. So this was plus 3. I had us at minus 3. All right, get them shuffled for round number 8. Okay, minimum bet, burn card, round number 8. Let's count. All right, let's count it up. We have 1, 0, D1, D2, D3, D4, 3D2, D3, D4, D5, D4, D5, D6, D7, D6, D5. So this was -5. We needed +5. Oh, did I write the wrong thing? I suppose I should have wrote +5. I'm an idiot. I don't think I'd be off by 10. So yeah, we were betting the right amount there. I just didn't put a plus. Anyway, whoops. All right, let me, I think that mistake is believable. Let me get these shuffled for round 9. All right, as I get the cards cut and then about half a deck or so cut off here, if you don't believe me, remember the bet spread that we're using. Of course, we were betting according to that in the last shoe there, so I promise I meant +5. All right, this is gonna be session number 9. I got this one and then one more. You get a burn card over here, minimum bet of 50 bucks. Looks like we're up on our 500s, down on our black and green. We have not tapped into our thousands yet. Remember, we started with 10,000, so we'll count that up at the end. By the way, if you're appreciating this or liking it so far, please hit the thumbs up button for me. Otherwise, here comes session number 9. Let's count. let's count it up. We have 0, 1, 0, D1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, D1, D2, D1, 0, D1, D2, D1. This was -1. We needed +1. That time I did it the right way. All right, we got one last round coming up. I'll get these shuffled for us. All right, $50 minimum, burn card, last round. Let's count. All right, we did not end on a high note there. We lost a little bit that last round, but that's okay. We'll count this up, see if we're right, and then I'll get our chips counted, see if we won or lost today. We have 0, D1, D2, D1, 0, D1, D2, D1, 0, D1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and 2. This was +2, so we should have finished with -2. All right, I think all of my counts were correct for all 10 of those shoes. So that's what's most important, but I will get our chips counted up and see if we're above or below 10,000 today. All right, got this counted up for us. We still have 5,000 in these yellow chips, and then these are in piles of 2. And so for our $500 chips, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 9,000. And 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800. So 9,800. So we actually lost $200 in these 10 shoes. So not terrible, but that goes to show that, you know, it's about the long run. Even with 10 shoes, it seems like it should be enough. It's not, all right? You do need to be playing this for, you know, several, sometimes hundreds of hours in order to become profitable and meet kind of that sort of N0 time, or the be above 1 standard deviation to get into some of the math words there. Anyway, that's not what you care about, but hopefully you got these right for your counts. Let me know how you did down below. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Otherwise, give this a thumbs up before you head out. Remember, until next time, this is A1 Blackjack.